I want to quickly talk to you about flow payments, credit card processing, and this is actually a credit card processor that's really interesting to review. And into this conversation, I want to go in depth. So here is a glance into this player here. So when you think about flow payments, credit card processing, I want you to think about a provider that actually is kind of cool when it comes to all kinds of industries. And so they actually deliver payment processing solutions specific to high risk businesses, low risk businesses, and medium risk businesses, even though based on our research, we think it's just better to go to flow payments if you have a high risk business. Okay. And so when we talk about high risk businesses, we're talking about collection agencies, payday loan companies, timeshares, CBD businesses, sellers of adult novelty products, debt consolidators, insurance companies, and gambling companies. Okay. And 95% of flow payments, I think clients base operate in the high risk merchant space. 90 to 95%. And this player provides bank options based actually in the United States, chargeback support and prevention, ACH processing, and e-check processing. And the company was founded in 2015, and they are based right now in East Harwich, Massachusetts. And what we love about the flow payments is that they basically are very fast in terms of processing applications and approving applications. Okay, and so they offer payment processing for high risk merchants. There are no processing minimums. They provide payment gateways, EMV, NFC terminals, and shopping carts. So this is really good. And the merchant accounts are domestic though. So they actually will onboard US based merchants, and the underwriting process will take longer than with traditional payment processors. Usually within 3 to 7 to 10 days, you will be approved. Okay. So if you are in a high risk industry, you're likely familiar with the difficulty of finding a payment processor to accept your merchant services, right? And so there are a variety of reasons for this. You have regulations, you have the potential for lawsuits and other stuff. So, but the cool thing is that flow payments will help you out. They will work with you to make sure that you get your accounts processed and approved real fast. So this is fantastic. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let me talk to you about the specs here. So when you think about flow payments, what kind of specs should you really pay attention to? Well, first of all, you have to understand, compared to traditional low risk businesses, signing up for a credit card actually processing as a merchant will take longer because of the underwriting process required to place you with an appropriate partner. So the industry you're in and the partner you're paired with will also change the implementation process. Additionally, the information required for underwriting depends on your specific industry. It's one of those things where you have to see exactly what kind of industry you're in and what kind of operational setup you require. So first of all, it's just better to contact the customer service rep to have a clear idea about how everything will work. Okay, so step number one, you want to fill out a quote request on Flow's website, or you can call 1-888-265-4547. Again, the number is 1-888-265-4547. And so flow payments, this is step number two. Flow payments determines which of its partners will fit best with your business. And step number three, you need to complete an application and undergo underwriting. So this is where they actually go a little bit in depth. They perform due diligence to have a clear idea who you are and what your company is all about. Okay, so for example, the merchant will need the following for underwriting. If your business has poor credit, so they will need a government issued ID. This is kind of standard though. What I'm telling you here, this is kind of standard. So you have, they will ask you for 3 months of bank statements. They'll ask you for 3 months of processing statements. And they will ask you for a letter from your bank or a pre-printed voided check. You have also to submit an employer identification number, an EIN, or social security number if you are a single member LLC, for instance. And you also need to provide a website that's both complete and secure. So when I'm talking about a complete and secure website, I'm talking about both in terms of content, but also in terms of technology. Okay. So when we talk about security here, you need to think about having like all kinds of SSL, so secure second layer. So you got to really have that to make sure that your website is compliant. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about flow payments credit card processing. I want to dig a little deeper here in terms of the credit cards that Flow Payments accepts. So the cool thing is that Flow Payments actually accepts all kinds of credit cards. So, and the top four that we have in the States here, you have Visa, MasterCard, you have American Express, and you have Discover. So this is kind of cool. So even if you are in a high risk industry, as long as you actually accept all kinds of credit cards, you should be able to work with Flow Payments, not a problem. And the whole process should be really smooth. And so now, what credit card machines or other hardware does Flow Payments use really depends. So as I think I've established that Flow Payments actually accepts Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. Now, in the high-risk merchant space, the credit card machines and hardware available to you depend on your industry and the partner that Flow Payments pairs you with. It's all about the pairing. So that's why I was just telling you that you have to actually contact customer service to actually have a clear idea of the pairing process. For example, Flow Payments works with dispensaries and offers debit terminals that are not credit card machines, or it can pair you with a company providing P.O.S. solutions. So you always want to discuss your business needs with the sales representatives to receive your quote for credit card processing. It's one of those things where at the end of the day, you got to really have a clear idea about your expected transactional volume. You gotta have a clear idea about your how new your business is, because basically they also have a special pricing structure for startups. I mean, Flow Payments will work with startups, but it's one of those things where you have to see how risky your business is. So, for instance, if you are a startup in the adult industry, you have a double whammy, so to speak, because you're a startup already, and then you are in the adult industry. So, the bottom line here is what? The bottom line is that Flow Payments will work with all kinds of businesses, including high risks and medium risk businesses, as long as you are able to have a conversation first with the rep, and you are able to agree on their pricing tiers. I'll speak about pricing later on, but I just want to give you the process that you need to go through to make sure that your needs are being taken care of and that you get the best offer, the best quote from Flow Payments. Let's dig a little deeper here in terms of Flow Payments operational setup. So do they have actually a mobile app? No. As of right now, Flow Payments does not offer a mobile app. However, the payment processor or bank that a client pairs with may provide a mobile app, okay? And also, you also have to understand that in terms of integrations that you have with Flow Payments, your assigned payment processor or bank will have its own integrations. For example, the bank may integrate with QuickBooks or FreshBooks or Wave or Xero. Typically, these third-party integrations require your own subscription with the app or service, okay? And so it's one of those things you need to really be ready to accept. And do we have other add-ons, add-on services that Flow Payment offer? Not really. Not really as a standalone company, but when signing up for Flow Payments, the add-on services available to your company depend again on the processor or bank you are assigned to. So everything goes through that sort of middleman or like intermediary that you are assigned to. So some banks or some partners may have mobile apps, invoicing, virtual terminals, online reporting, or online shopping carts, okay? And it's not uncommon for credit card processors to require high-risk merchants to have, let's say, offshore accounts in order to qualify, okay? But Flow Payments works with many different domestic partners so that clients do not have to go offshore anyway. So one thing I want to say here is that when you think about Flow Payments, I want you to think about a processor that really helps you out by actually pairing you with third parties, okay? So Flow Payments doesn't have a standalone sort of a credit card processing platform, but the cool thing is that they actually are relying on their extensive network of partners to sort of make sure that your credit card transactions are processed, especially if you are in a very high risk industry. And one thing I want to say also is that Flow Payments actually have great customer service. So if you have any question, if you have any question or any sort of comments, whatever, it's always better to contact the companies. They're toll free. So it's 1-888-879-7022. Okay, 1-888-879-7022. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about flow payments, credit card processing. So when we talk about flow payments, are we talking about a free trial here? Because a lot of people are interested in having a free trial to sort of test out the products and or service to see if it's really great for them. One thing I want to say here is that flow payments, as of right now, doesn't have a free trial. However, it will compete with your current alternative rate plan, so you are sure to have pricing that matches or exceeds the rates you have now. So it's one of those things where, let's say you are with Payment Cloud or you are with National Processing and you want to switch to flow payments. You just have to actually talk to the rep and tell the rep how much you're paying right now, and they'll see if they can match it. And in terms of security, flow payments is really well regarded. So the security features available, as well as security methods and policies, depend on the provider that flow payments pairs your company with. However, it only works with PCI compliant partners. And PCI, as a matter of fact, remains the credit card industry's data security standard, and it helps protect your customers' data and information from getting into the wrong hands. And that's what we want anyway, right? Because when we talk about credit card processing, we're talking about highly sensitive data anyway. So basically, in terms of customer support, well, flow payments sales hours are from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. And the thing that happens here is that once you are a client, you are assigned a dedicated account director and get 24/7 customer support. So this is kind of cool. And based on our research, the average wait time for support is actually less than 2 to 3 minutes. So you always know that somebody will get back to you as soon as possible. But again, it's one of those things where I think, as I've said to you before, it's always better to contact them first. Okay, so you want to call 1-888-879-7022. Again, the number is 1-888-879-7022 to have more information. Now, the one thing I also need to let you know here is that when we talk about flow payments, please, when you contact customer service, make sure you have a clear idea about your needs. You have a clear idea about what kind of transactional volume you're looking at, like 0 to 25,000, 25,000 to 50,000, 50,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to $250,000. $500,000. So you have to have a clear idea about how much you expect to process every single month. Let's talk about pricing here. So when we analyze flow payments, let's talk about pricing. First of all, the flow payments doesn't have pricing information on its website. You got to contact the company again for more information. It's one of those things where, I mean, we actually don't like it, but hey, listen, it is a standard practice, unfortunately, in this industry, where a lot of players are deciding to withhold information about their pricing. And flow payments is not different. They do not give you anything at all. They do take a less conventional approach to credit card processing solutions than other companies that we actually researched, pairing merchants with processors and banks from its pool of partners located all over the United States. So for this reason, its fees and plans vary based on which partner your business pairs with, okay? And so similarly, its refund policies, subscription terms, applicable discounts, and offerings depend on the processor and bank. For example, some may provide hardware at no cost, while others may charge for it. And the high-risk merchant space is nuanced, so you must contact flow payments for a customized quote appropriate for your industry. So it's one of those things where you have to really see exactly what kind of solution works for you and what kind of a partner you're paired with. And one thing I want to say here is that you always have the option to let's say to negotiate with the partner you're paired with. What I'm trying to say is that flow payments will actually work with a partner, but once they actually hook you up, you have the ability to discuss and really see what kind of offer best suits you. You also have the ability to ask flow payments to actually pair you with 3 or 4 for a partner. With several partners, and then you can choose which partner really works for you, works best for you. Okay. It's one of those things where we also, you want to keep a certain level of flexibility, because the bottom line here is that simply because the flow payments is pairing you with a partner doesn't mean that that partner is necessarily the best for you. You always have the ability to actually study the partner's offer, to study the partner's terms and conditions, and see whether or not, based on your situation and based on the transactional volume you expect to process through the partner, that whether or not the offer is definitely in your best interest, economically speaking. Let's talk about the competitions here. So when we think about credit card processing companies, Flow Payments is not the only player in this industry, right? So you have a lot of players a lot of players that actually will give you a good, like a decent service also. So you have, for instance, you have Stacks. So we love Stacks a lot. Here you have, with Stacks, you have a monthly fee, $99 and up. Online fee, you have 0% plus 15 cents. Swap chip fee, you have a 0% plus 8 cents. So this is kind of cool. You have Payment Depot, another player that we love a lot. So with Payment Depot, you have the first month is free, and then later on they'll charge you $79 and up every month. You have an online fee, interchange plus 15 cents, and the swap chip fee, you have interchange plus 15 cents also. You also have a merchant one. So here you have a monthly fee of $6.95 and up, and an online fee is not mentioned. You have swap chip fee 0.29% plus 1.55%, and you also have a national processing. There's another player that we love a lot. So that's national processing. Here they're charging you a monthly fee of $9.95 and up, and the online fee varies, and the swap chip fee also varies. Another player that we love is Block, formerly Square. So actually, Square is part of the Block umbrella right now. In addition to other apps and other services, you have a monthly fee. There's no monthly fee. You have an online fee, 2.90% plus 30 cents. Then you have a swapped chip fee of 260% plus 10 cents. You also have here Flow Payments. So Flow Payments, that's what we're reviewing today. What we love about Flow Payments, if you compare and contrast with all the other players, that Flow Payments serves as a middle person, as a middleman, if you will, sort of hook you up with other partners. You also have a Sam's Club. So with the Sam's Club, you have a monthly fee that varies. You have an online fee that varies. You have a swap chip fee that also varies. You have Payment Depot. This will set you back $79 every month. This is, I think I've said this before. And you also have Merchant One. So those are really some of the players that you have to really reckon with. If you don't like, for any reason, if you don't like Flow Payments and you want to really explore alternatives, those are the players that you can really think about. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was giving you a Flow Payments credit card processing review. And let me quickly do a recap here. So I gave you a glance into the company, the specs, the pricing, the competition. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.